A beautiful day. And if that plush ghoul would just drop dead, it would be absolutely wonderful. We would get started on restoring this little thing. It's a Yamaha Jog 36 or 39, to be honest. God only knows how to tell them apart. Whoever knows, write it down in the comments later. Here it is, this divine machine arrived, with liquid cooling. It's got a 50cc 4-stroke engine, a real marvel. Such a fancy toy, look at that dashboard, everything is super. But, by old tradition, as you know, if it's here, not everything is smooth. So, if you're interested in what's up with this Yamaha, subscribe to the channel, hit like, and as always, enough slacking, time to get to work. A short backstory. Lord, this toy really overheated. It would seem everything about it is spot on. The fuel pump works. It even starts. Why the hell is it here, you ask? And I'll tell you, it's here for one simple reason. One might even say an ailment of this super scooter, namely that instead of oil, well, on a napkin, anyway, you won't see it. But instead of oil, there's emulsion here. And what does that mean? Correct, that antifreeze is getting into the system. And why this happens, I will tell you further along in this repair. And for now, let's drain the oil and take this demon apart so it's easier for us to work with. The plastic is all held on with zip ties, and this molding job is just something else. In short, I can't even take it off properly. Why did someone do that? To keep you warm. But that's only half the trouble. Our main task now is to drain the oil. It's all pretty simple. Unscrew the cap. The socket, what size do we need? 19 millimeters. If no one messed with it and reinvented anything, that should be it. Like so. Oh, there's our oil. That's what I was just talking about. Now we can see that whole thing perfectly well. So now let it drain. If only I could position it right. And I'll tell you later where we'll dive in to try and fix this whole mess. Such a milkshake we have here instead of oil. And something else interesting fell out of there. Anyway, this kind of thing. Now, regarding the radiator. The radiator here is in the cuckoo's nest category. What it's cooling in this state, I don't know. But our task now is to remove the hose. We'll take it off and blow it out, because I can't leave it like this. So our task now is to remove the lower and upper hoses, unscrew the bolts, and take it off completely. We'll wash it and blow it out because it's just a total disaster, and oh, there's a bottom bolt here too. Usually, you'd unscrew that one too, but I wouldn't do it, because you never know who took it off before or with what, and you don't know if we'll be able to screw it back in. So, since we're going to remove the pump and the whole system anyway, we'll just leave that one, take off the old reliable clips from the hoses, and drain it that way. So let's get to work on these tasks. A quick word on the performance of this unit. Let's look at it against the sun. How do you like this airflow? Pure power. For the motor, really satisfying. We also washed off some mud here, because I just couldn't look at it, but now it at least looks like a motor. Before, it was just an unrecognizable pile of sludge, but this still isn't even close to our end goal. So let's hop along and keep digging into this. We'll turn this demon around and see what we're going to do. We've done a ton of work and haven't even really started yet, because our culprit is right here. If you look, there he is, the beauty. The pump is all oxidized, and it clearly says right there on it that it's from 2010. And I think no one has been in there since that wonderful year 2010, and I really hope we can get away with just servicing this thing instead of replacing it, because it definitely costs a pretty penny. So let's go, we'll wash off a bit more grime here, and only then will we start taking it off. And that's about how it looks, just like in a good German movie. The result is obvious. Our little pump is in this sorry state, and there's not much desire to take it apart. But we have no choice, because we need to replace the impeller, clean everything out, flush it, and really hope it helps us. Right, about the play. Well, there is some play in it too. I think that's what finished off our bearing. But we have nothing left to do except to look and check. So let's go and tear this demon apart. I don't know, some kind of alien life has appeared in all of this. Someone seems to have left these deposits, or maybe it's just some kind of buildup, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to clean all of this off now. So, look, here is the main catch. If I suddenly get carried away and forget, I'll tell you right now. The impeller, the wear is just unreal. Meaning it's clear the seal couldn't handle it, and it was all just leaking away quietly. So, it comes out quite easily. Pop. It's out. The seal is inserted from the inside. After we clean everything, we will install it from the inside. And likewise. The bearing is also pressed in, but from this side. So, let's get to work and take it all apart. First, we remove the bearing. We need to pick a thin socket. Most likely it will be a 9, to get some leverage. And tap it out gently. Well, in short, I'll show you the fast process, but I see no point in dwelling on it since it's just cleaning and installing. The main thing is don't forget that the seal goes in from the inside, and the bearing from the outside. That's it. Let's get down to cleaning and everything else needed for this pump. Well, we pressed out our bearing and our seal using a 16 socket for the seal, and a 32-1 as a spacer, so there's somewhere for it to come out. And use a vise gently, or if not, you can just use that same thing to knock it out. But be careful, because there's a seat for the bearing here. Look, make sure the socket passes through so you don't ruin the seat. Because this is already our second pump, because the first one, unfortunately, was completely oxidized like this. And the seat just came out of the chat like this. Well, but still, cleaning it would have been quite a challenge. So it's good that another pump arrived just in time. And on this one, we will assemble our repair kit. And there are a few more nuances, I'll tell you about them in the process. Our pump is cleaned and ready to receive the repair kit. These are the parts we have. The only thing is, look, when you buy it, the outer gasket that goes here is separate. That means you have to order it separately, and I think it would be good to apply some sealant so it holds. So, what is the procedure? We heat it up a little, place our new bearing. If needed, tap it a little, fit it gently. In this case, it is a 24 socket, and I will demonstrate it to you on the old bearing now. It fits just right on the outer race, so as not to press on the bearing itself. You place it on the race and gently push it in there. And then, let it cool down a little while it's warm, while the aluminum is expanded. Also, with some oil, we install the seal from the inside. Next are the gaskets, gasket with sealant, and we will have the bearing has flown in. The seal has also flown in. Look, so as not to get it wrong, it says here that on the water side, you have to put it here, where the impeller will rotate, that's where you put it all. So now we're installing our gasket, putting the impeller in, and bolting everything back into place. There's basically nothing else to talk about here. I'm saying, I don't know, probably in here inside. Although, maybe I'll add a bit of sealant, or maybe I won't. We'll see how it goes. No, everything is nice and tight here. I think it will seal up. I don't think any sealant is needed here. We'll assemble the whole thing using the gaskets and we'll be good to go. So let's get to work on that. Our pump didn't go in without a struggle, because it's really not convenient here, especially with that setup where you can't remove the skid plate, but nevertheless, a few swear words later. This is that terrible bolt from the top, because the frame gets in the way. Well, after a few swear words, we managed to get it. We flushed the hoses a bit, but even though we washed them out, the first run will be done just like we do with oil, we'll flush it through. And the first fill will just be with water. We'll fill it and drain it, to flush out all that gunk that was left in our cooling system. I've already pre-flushed the radiator. It's clean and looking good now. I used some cleaner, added an anti-corrosive, and rinsed it out. When you add anti-corrosive, make sure to follow the instructions. Pour it in, let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and be sure to flush and rinse everything out with distilled water. So now let's get everything installed and connected. Everything is connected and installed. Now for the small details. One small detail is that behind this hose, it's a bit tight, but there's an 8mm bolt there. There it is. You need to loosen it. We'll start filling the water from the radiator. We fill the radiator and watch that bolt. When water starts coming out of there, we tighten it back up and then fill the reservoir, the expansion tank, up to about halfway. Then we'll warm it up, watch it, and measure the temperature to see if everything is circulating correctly. Right. After that, we'll flush and clean everything again, add antifreeze, run it on antifreeze, and then we'll drain the oil to see the situation, whether water or antifreeze is getting in and if there's any milkshake in there or not. So let's go. First, we are going to unscrew this little bolt, because it's responsible for the air in the system, to let it out. And the level is sufficient when liquid starts coming out of it. Our scooter has been running for about 15 minutes now. Let's check with not the most accurate tool. 80-85. I measured it 5 minutes ago and it was the same. Just to be sure. We can see the light coming on before we start it. So the temperature is normal. The sensor goes out, everything is working. Here. 85, it lies by about 3 degrees. So it's about 82 degrees Celsius. On the radiator, at the inlet 60, at the outlet, more precisely here at the inlet 60-50. Well, in short, 60 degrees Celsius. And that's while it's not screwed on and not all the air is being pulled through it. But 15 minutes is okay to keep it running. In the reservoir, nothing is boiling. So now I will turn it off. So, we checked that. Now we are draining our water. We are pouring in antifreeze, but only after it cools down so as not to get scalded by the boiling water. And then, after that, we'll run it all again and see how it works with antifreeze. And with that, our mission to repair this contraption will be finished. So don't switch channels. We changed the antifreeze. The metal is a bit hot, but it is very, very interesting. Whether our antifreeze is getting into the oil, and if everything worked out with our pump. Now let's unscrew it a little more. Lord, it's hard to tell how it's flowing there. But it's wonderful. Our oil is clean. Which is something to be happy about. It only means one thing, that our scheme worked. We cured the pump. So now we're pouring in some clean, fresh oil. That's how this Yamaha 36 is. And it's well-known ailment. But we overcame it, so everything is good for us. We also changed its little filter, reupholstered the seat, fixed it up, because now it all looks nice and clean. We replaced the grill, because, well, what was that? What kind of filter and grill was that anyway? Lord, how could anyone even ride like that? But this way, you quickly wash everything up, tidy it a bit, instead of giving it to mechanics who think that's a normal repair. It will ride again and bring joy to its owner. So, what should you do if an emulsion appears in your oil and your antifreeze starts disappearing? You definitely know now. This little thing starts on a dime. It started on a dime before, so we changed the oil, changed the antifreeze, did everything just as it should be. And if you found this interesting, subscribe to the channel and give it a like. And of course, be sure to donate to the Armed Forces of Ukraine. See you in the next episode. Bye everyone.